Hello dear students, welcome to history class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this video I shall be continuing with chapter 3rd of history, that is the Delhi Sultanate. So students, in the previous video I started with the 3rd dynasty, that is the Tughlaq dynasty, and I explained you about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. I explained you about the bold experiments or the measures that were undertaken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and those measures, those experiments weakened his empire. I explained you about 3 experiments or 3 measures. The first was shifting of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, second was introduction of token currency, and third was increment of land revenue in the Doab region. So all these experiments, they were a big flop, and those experiments weakened his empire. Why? Because of his haste and impatient nature. Now I'll explain you that after the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the throne was succeeded by his cousin, and the name of the cousin was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So after Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the throne was succeeded by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and the duration of Firoz Shah Tughlaq was 1351 to 1383. This was the duration of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, of the rule of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq faced several problems as Delhi Sultanate was breaking up. Why it was breaking up? Because of the steps taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Delhi was breaking, the empire was dividing, the empire was weakening because of his measures. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he adopted several policies to please the nobles, to please the army and the Muslim priest. Now I'll tell you about the steps or policies that were adopted by Firoz Shah Tughlaq in order to please the nobles, to please the army and the Muslim priest. So his first policy was that he made the Iqta and land rights hereditary both for civil and army officials. Now what do you understand by Iqta? I have already explained you. Iqta means land grants given to nobles in lieu of the salary. So in spite of giving salary, the nobles were given land grants. Okay. So what he did? Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he made the Iqta and land rights hereditary. For example, if I have been given Iqta, suppose I am a noble and I have been given Iqta, then after me, that means my son will also have that land right. After my son, his son will also have that land right. So he made this system, he made the land rights hereditary both for the civil as well as for the army officials. So whosoever were having the Iqta or the land rights, for them it was made hereditary. Next, to please the Muslim religious scholars. See, in the previous video I told you the name for Muslim religious scholars. During that time, Muslim religious scholars were called as ulema. Okay? They were called as ulema. So to please the ulema, he imposed the jizya. Now what is jizya? Jizya was a special tax on non-Muslim in a Muslim state. For example, the Muslims will not pay the tax. The non-Muslims, they were to be paid. Please cut that line. So he imposed the jizya. Now what is jizya? Jizya was a special tax on non-Muslim. That means the non-Muslims, means not the Muslims, the non-Muslims, for example the Hindus, the Christians and any other people of any other religion, they had to pay tax. Muslims were exempted from paying tax, and the non-Muslim, they had to pay tax in that region. So to please the Muslim religious scholars, he imposed the jizya. Now he also took many welfare steps. He also took several welfare measures, like he set up hospitals for free treatment for the poor. So for the poor, he set up several hospitals for free to have free medical treatment. Then he promoted agriculture by digging of wells and by constructing canals for irrigation purposes, and also for providing water to some of the new towns which were built by him. So there were several new towns that were built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So in order to promote agriculture, what he did, he promoted agriculture by digging wells and canals, so that people could benefit from those wells and canals, and also water can reach to the new towns that were built by him. Now I will tell you about the two towns that were built by him. First is Hisar, that is in Haryana, and second is Firozabad, and this Firozabad is currently in Uttar Pradesh, that means UP. So the first welfare measure was that he set up hospitals for free for the poor, and second, he promoted agriculture by digging wells and canals, and also so that the water reaches the new towns that were built by him. Also students, he created the fourth city of Delhi, that was called Quetta Firuz Shah, next to the river Yamuna, and it was the fifth capital. And after his death, that means after the death of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Delhi Sultanate declined rapidly. So I hope that all the points related to Firoz Shah Tughlaq are clear to everybody. Now students, let's come to the next topic, that is Timur's invasion in 1398 AD. Now I'll tell you about the invasion of Timur. Now the first question is that who was Timur? So Timur was a Turk. Please remember that Timur was a Turk, but he claimed blood relationships with Genghis Khan. So as I told you that he invaded India in 1398 AD, that means he invaded India during which dynasty? During Tughlaq dynasty. So he invaded India during the Tughlaq dynasty. Now what was his motive? Why he wanted to come to India? Why he wanted to raid India? So his motive for raiding India was to seize the wealth of Delhi Sultans. He wanted to capture the wealth of the Delhi Sultans, and there was no one to stop him. Please cut that line. And there was no one at that time to stop him. Why there was no one to stop him? Because at that time the Delhi Sultanate was not so strong. It was declining rapidly. So nobody was there to stop him. And taking advantage of the weakening empire, he came to India and he looted and plundered everything. Now, you know what? Timur's army ransacked and plundered various towns on the way to Delhi. Now what is the meaning of ransacked? Ransacked means caused damage, and plundered means he looted people, he mercilessly killed several people, means whosoever came on his way, he caused huge damage to the people as well as to the villages. He caused a lot of destruction, he caused a lot of damage, he killed several people. Several people were killed during Timur's invasion to India, and he entered Delhi and looted it, killed several people mercilessly and caused extensive destruction and damage. So his main motive, his main purpose to come to India was to loot things, was to loot the precious stones, the ornaments and whatever he could get. He looted everything, whatever he could loot. And you know students, when he was returning to his place, that means when he was returning to Samarkand, he looted so much from India that around 90 elephants were used to carry the stones and precious things from India that he looted from India. Just imagine, 90 elephants were needed to carry the things that he looted from our country. and before returning to Samarkand, he appointed Khizar Khan. Please remember this word, that he appointed Khizar Khan as his deputy. He returned back to Samarkand, and before returning back, he appointed Khizar Khan as his deputy. And also remember that Khizar Khan was made the governor of Multan, Lahore and Dipalpur. And later Khizar Khan, he captured Delhi in 1414 AD and he began the rule of Sayyids. And from there the Sayyid dynasty began. From there the Sayyid dynasty started. So I hope that the first three dynasties are clear. That means the slave dynasty, the Khilji dynasty and the Tughlaq dynasty. Now I will explain you about the fourth dynasty of Delhi Sultanate, that means the Sayyid dynasty. And Sayyid dynasty started, how Sayyid dynasty started? It started because of Khizar Khan, as he was appointed the deputy by Timur before returning to Samarkand. So now I will explain you about the fourth dynasty, that means the Sayyid dynasty, and the duration of this dynasty is from 1414 AD to 1451 AD. So now let's start with the Sayyid dynasty. So students, the Sayyids, they ruled for a very short period, and there were mainly four Sayyid kings in the Sayyid dynasty. The first king was Khizar Khan Sayyid from 1414 to 1421 AD. Second king was Mubarak Shah Sayyid from 1421 AD to 1434 AD. The third king was Muhammad Shah Sayyid from 1434 AD to 1443 AD, and the last ruler of the Sayyid dynasty was Alauddin Shah Sayyid from 1443 AD to 1451 AD. So now I will explain you about all these four kings. As you can see the names, all these four kings in detail. See, Sayyid dynasty was for a very short period, and the founder of Sayyid dynasty was Khizar Khan Sayyid. He laid the foundation of Sayyid dynasty. And let me tell you that Khizar Khan, he ruled only for 7 years, and then he died in 1421 AD. From 1414, in 1414 he laid the foundation of Sayyid dynasty, and in 1421 AD he died. And after him, his son Mubarak Shah, he ascended the throne in 1421 AD. But Mubarak Shah, he had to face several challenges by the rebellions and the conspiring nobles. There were several conspiracies that was going on against him during that time. Okay, so the duration of Mubarak, the period of rule of Mubarak Shah was from 1421 AD to 1434 AD. So after Mubarak Shah Sayyid came Muhammad Shah Sayyid from 1434 AD to 1443 AD, and then he was succeeded by Alauddin Shah Sayyid in 1443 AD. But they failed to be, these kings, they failed to be in power, and ultimately Delhi came under the control of an Afghan noble, and the name of that Afghan ruler was Behlol Lodi. So Alauddin Shah Sayyid, he ruled merely from 1443 AD to 1451 AD, and after him, as he was not able to do things well, he was not able to handle and control his empire, so Delhi came under the control of a Afghan noble, and the name of that Afghan noble was Behlol Lodi, and from there the Lodi dynasty began, and from there the Lodi dynasty was founded. So Behlol Lodi, he laid the foundation of the Lodi dynasty. So now let's come to the last dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate, that is the Lodi dynasty, and the duration is from 1451 AD to 1526 AD. So now let me start with the last dynasty of Delhi Sultanate, that is Lodi dynasty. So who were the Lodis? The Lodis were Afghan tribesmen. Please remember that Lodis were Afghan tribesmen, and the founder of Lodi dynasty was Behlol Lodi in 1451 AD. He became the ruler of Delhi. Students, Behlol Lodi, he extended Lodi rule from Punjab to the western borders of Bihar, and then he was succeeded by his son Sikandar Lodi in 1489 AD. So the period of rule of Behlol Lodi was 1451 AD to 1489 AD, and in 1489 AD Behlol Lodi was succeeded by his son Sikandar Lodi. So now comes Sikandar Lodi. So the duration of rule, the period of rule of Sikandar Lodi was from 1849 AD to 1517 AD. So now let me tell you about Sikandar Lodi. So Sikandar Lodi was the most important Lodi Sultan. Now the question is, why he was considered as the most important Lodi Sultan? Because he brought nobles under his control. See, he laid emphasis on justice, and all the highways of the empire were made safe from robbers and dacoits, so that the robbers and dacoits, they do not cause harm to the empire. So the highways of the empire, they were made safe from the robbers and dacoits. Also, the prices of all the essential commodities were made cheap, and due to this the local public, they benefited from this move of Sikandar Lodi. Very important point, that he founded the city of Agra. Who founded the city of Agra? Sikandar Lodi. He founded the city of Agra, and he made it his capital. And the Lodis, they used to make their tomb in gardens. Please remember that the Lodis, they made their tomb in gardens. And then Sikandar Lodi was succeeded by his son, that is Ibrahim Lodi, in 1517 AD. So after Sikandar Lodi came Ibrahim Lodi. So now I'll tell you about Ibrahim Lodi. So the period of rule of Ibrahim Lodi was from 1517 AD to 1526 AD. So let me tell you that Ibrahim Lodi was the last ruler of the Delhi Sultanate. Yes, you know, the Afghans and the Rajputs rulers, they wanted to assert their independence. They wanted to have their independence, because during his rule they were not independent. So what happened? A very powerful Afghan chief, Daulat Khan Lodi, he invited Babur. Please remember that the Afghan chief, that is Daulat Khan Lodi, he invited Babur, a Central Asian chief. Babur was a Central Asian chief, to invade India and remove Ibrahim Lodi. And then Babur came to India, he invaded India, and he defeated Ibrahim Lodi in 1526 AD in the Battle of Panipat. Please remember that the Battle of Panipat was fought between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur, in which Ibrahim Lodi was defeated by Babur, and thus the Lodi dynasty and the Delhi Sultanate came to an end. Who was the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate? Ibrahim Lodi was the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate. And after Ibrahim Lodi was defeated by Babur, the Mughal Empire began, which I'll be explaining you in the next chapter. The next chapter is about Mughal Empire, so I'll explain you about Mughal Empire in the next chapter. Please remember that the first ruler of Delhi Sultanate was Qutbuddin Aibak, and the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate was Ibrahim Lodi. So I hope that all the 5 dynasties are clear, and one more topic is left, that is the Now one more topic is left, that is the Sultanate administration, which I will be explaining you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much students. Be safe.